Some branches of a family tree grow side by side, and some stretch far apart, reaching toward the sun from different soil. Yet the roots remain the same. Today we stand at the meeting place of two branches, one from James Ellis, one from Toby Ellis, brothers by birth, sons of Fred and Amelia Ellis, whose love and labor planted the roots we share. Photographs are all that remain of some faces, but the stories they carry still live in us. And sometimes, when the time is right, family finds family across miles, across generations, and across time itself. Okay, welcome back to another episode of Our Family, Our Legacy. I'm Charles Ellis, and today is a special moment in our journey to reconnect to the branches of our family tree. I first heard about our guest today, Melissa Williams, through our cousin, Larry Ellis. Now, Melissa's DNA showed up as a match on Larry's ancestry. And what we learned was that James Ellis is Toby Ellis's brother. So that means that Fred and Amelia Ellis are both our grandparents, great, whatever. But today, Melissa will share some stories, share some photographs, and memories passed down from her side of the family as we continue to explore and examine our roots, to examine and explore where we come from, so that we can know where we're headed. So for me, this is more than an interview. It's like a reunion. And so at that, I want to welcome Melissa to the Our Family, Our Legacy podcast, and give you an opportunity to say, just introduce yourself. Let us know what your passion is or how you arrived at this passion for this discovery and this research. And just tell us a little bit about you.
Well, first of all, hello everyone. Thank you for having me. I am very happy for Ancestry. It has, made a lot of connections for me. I started off, just curiosity, nosiness, wanting to know a little bit more about my family history, just a little bit, the little secrets and stuff that was swept under the rug. As a child, you don't really ask questions. You're trying to just, go along with what you're told until you get older and you want to know more. So that's kind of what started my ancestry. My grandmother was Lottie Mae Williams. Well, she was originally a High. She was the child of Bunk High and Annie Lee Ellis. She raised me from a child. That's basically what got me into my ancestry. Just want to know where I came from, my quirks. Where did I get this from? Did I inherit it? Is it something, a genetic makeup? Is it something that was in my DNA? And if so, where did my DNA come from? So.
Okay. So are there some quirks that you kind of like, or patterns that you want to share with us about what you might have learned in relationship to your discovery?
Well, short answer, I do know that, if you come from, let's say, and this is just a little something I've been researching, nothing set in stone, but, like, let's say we had warriors in the family, or like we come from a long line of fighters, that kind of thing is pushed down to your DNA. Like, do you have a strong spirit? Do you have, like traits like your anger, your sadness? Is it based on genetic makeups from your ancestors' pain passed down through the blood of the children? I believe in that. So, I just wanted to know a little bit more of where my temperance is, my long toe, my you know, one finger bigger than the other, little things like that. You get it
You
from
have a
your,
long toe?
well, not really, but, just long feet. And,
Long
and my
because
granddaddy, I
we
would
had
just
an
say,
aunt, because we did have an aunt that had an extra finger. Oh,
hmm
no, she was, yeah, she was an aunt. I think she was my grandmother's, and that's why I wish Joan was on here. But I think she had an extra finger.
yeah, my granddaddy used to tell me little things like, you walk around with no shoes on, that's why you're so flat-footed. So
Mm.
as I got older, I felt like that might have been a trait from my great-great-grandfather, so that's kind of what led me to start trying to figure out where I came from and my features. Because I know that the man that raised me was not my biological grandfather, so it was always differences in, the family that I was raised up around. No similarities. Um, we're not blood, but they're my cousins because of this man. He raised me, and his family was my family, but I didn't look like any of them. I didn't share anything in common with them. I just always kind of felt disconnected a little bit. Um, so I felt like getting to know my real family and my ancestry would help that.
Let me put things into context, and then we're going to get into a little bit. And I'm really curious about, as you share your photographs and some of the stories that you have. I'm really curious to see how you match those little quirks that you talk about with the different people. I don't know if you're able to do that, but it might be something to kind of look at. But let me share my screen real quickly, just so that we can put into context and people will know how we're connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how we some of the stories that you may want to kind of set up. So here is Clarence T. Ellis. This is actually his tree on the bigger tree for my Ellis Chambers Cooks Parker family tree. So here's Clarence T. Toby Ellis, and of course he was married to Ida Bell Manuel in North Carolina, where you are from, right?
Uh-huh.
And Lila Cook, he had two children, and the two children are Kenneth Ellis and Charles Ellis, my uncle, who I'm named after. But the interesting piece that I think we share similarities on the same tree, of each other's tree, is this line here: James and Kenneth. James Ellis is Toby's brother. So I want people to see that. He had many siblings, but James, and I think you refer to him as James Robert or Robert James.
According to
Okay.
my census, it's James Robert or either James Peyton
Okay.
for the middle name, but it is James Ellis.
James Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is your branch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's look at your branch a little bit, just so that people know. Annie Lee Ellis and Bunk High. So Annie Lee Ellis is your grandmother?
She would have been my great grandmother.
Your great grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And so she married Bunk High, which is where the High name came in from.
Mm-hmm.
But Lottie Mae High is your grandmother.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Who raised you?
Correct.
Okay, so
In
then we're
Benson,
getting
North Carolina. Mm-hmm.
Who lives now still in North Carolina?
Well, she passed in 2019, but
In 2019.
she was in Benson, North Carolina.
Oh, in Benson. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we have Perry Stacker, who is your father.
Correct.
Okay. And then here you are here, Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to talk a little bit about the name changes, and can you tell us a little bit about why these name changes? This one here is really clear. I mean, we understand that when Lottie married Williams, that's where the Williams came from.
Correct.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what happened in this relationship and how the Stacker came about.
Okay, so my grandmother, Lottie May, she had a child with Arthur. Well, she had two children by Arthur Ray Stacker. which was my father, Perry Stacker. He's a Williams through marriage. James Williams legally adopted my father and gave him his Williams last name. That is how I was passed down the Williams last name, even though biologically I'm not a Williams. So that's kind of where the Williams name came in. My father was a Stacker.
So wait a minute. So Lottie Mae is your grandmother, and she's the one who raised you.
Correct.
And she was born
1933.
1933 from Annie Lee and Bunk High.
Correct.
Bunk High. Also in North Carolina?
Yes.
Okay.
Bladen County is where she was raised. What they call Clarkton.
Okay. All right. And they came from James Ellis, which is your great-great-grandfather.
Correct.
No, your great-great?
He would have been my great-great, because my grandma, and then Annie would have been my great-grandma, and then anything up past that would have been great-great.
Got you. Okay, so here you are. So tell me again now, just so that I'm clear. Lottie Mae High, child of Annie Lee and Bunk High. Did she marry James Earl Williams?
They were married.
They were married, and that's where your name Williams come from.
Correct.
But he was not your biological father.
Grandfather. Correct.
I mean, biological grandfather. Who was the biological grandfather?
My biological grandfather was Arthur Ray Stacker.
Okay. And that's where Perry Stacker comes from.
Correct.
Gotcha. All righty. And so you would have been technically a Stacker?
Correct.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So, wow. All right. So is there anything else you want to share about this whole story? Are there any quirks that you know that you picked up from any one of these folk before we get into some of the photographs that you have?
Well, whenever I did my DNA results, I don't know if you noticed or not, or anybody that has done the DNA test, it gives you like traits and stuff that might have been passed down from your mother or your father. Little things like what time you might take a nap, or, are you argumentative, or, is your earwax wet, and things like that. So that's including ancestry, and that's what gave me the idea. Also, along with studying psychology too, that we can traumatize our children in the womb by our generational curses.
Yes.
The blood of the children, it trickles through. So, and I did a little research. Now, I wouldn't say that I have a warrior spirit, but some people around me say that I do.
You worry a lot?
Warrior, like strong, fierce.
Oh, like, warrior, like a warrior spirit.
Right, like Native American. So it kind of tied into, me wanting to be more herbal and, not rely on medicine. So to me, I took it as that might have been from my indigenous ancestors, little things like that, being flat-footed, how my hair grow, I got different hair textures, so it's hard for me to, find the right products for my hair, but that's because I have a whole bunch of mixed hair, European hair, Nigerian, Native American, so that helped me identify products to use on my hair, because I don't have all coarse hair. I have different patches of hair. So learning that I have European and Scotland and all that in my DNA, that would explain why I can't manage my hair, because it's all mixed up. I have to work and be patient with it. Little things like that. My blood type. Do I get back acne? Little things like that is passed down from family and, generation to generation.
Do you get back acne? So you have a warrior spirit, and one of the things that we do know about our our ancestry, our heritage, is that we have, the Ellises have engaged in every war that this country has ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Every last one of them, all the way back. We can trace it all the way back to the Civil War.
Revolutionary War.
The Revolutionary War. I was blocking on that for a minute.
And maybe they passed some of those things down to us. We didn't even realize it.
And didn't even realize it.
And didn't realize it. Their blood is still on the soil. So if we are walking amongst it,
right,
hey, our ancestor might attach to us in a blow of a wind. It sounds strange, but
no,
the older I get, I realize that it's more to this life than just what we can see.
Good. All right. And you're studying psychology. I have studied psychology myself. And I've been a practicing clinician for over 40 years.
Good.
Yeah. I have my own practice. And I just, now that I'm kind of semi-retired, I still see patients. So there's a wonderful similarity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to allow you to share.
Okay.
Okay, right here. I'm going to let you share, and let us know what basically any information that you can share with us. I'm going to just turn it over.
Okay, and I'm going to
let you go with it. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can get this to work right. Okay.
I think you got it.
Yay.
Just for the people that didn't know, we were having some problems with that a little earlier. But I think you have it. The technical difficulties you have resolved.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm just going to share my tree briefly.
Okay.
Because I have a few different trees. I ended up having to take my mother's side off of my tree because it got so expansive. Because I wanted to start adding the siblings, the children, not just my direct branch, but just everybody, so we could see kind of how we relate.
Is that James Ellis right there?
Yes, this was saved by, and my computer's a little slow, but this was a picture that I shared from a rose stacker. And this is linked to a James Matthew Ellis. And this was the black and white, the original. I do have the copy where I colorized it and sharpened the image. And this was a James Matthew Ellis, born 1882, and he died in 1957.
Oh, wow. Let me see here. So, and he does resemble my father a little. When he got, so he must have been in his 70s. Not sure when this picture was taken, but go ahead. So that's James Ellis.
All right, and like I said, my ancestry is all over the place. But I have been on Ancestry, I think, for like 5 years now. But I'm just gonna start with James Robert, just to kind of, make that link, like you said, as far as where we connect. And I didn't share this with you before the podcast, but I did go in there and find Toby Ellis.
Oh, you did? Okay, Kenneth. So there
you go.
Okay. Yeah.
As James's siblings.
Yep. And Claude and Montgomery. Yep.
Henry.
And Henry. Yep. They are all his siblings. Okay. Now this is interesting. So James Ellis is the father?
This here.
James is Fanny? No, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
This right here is. These are the siblings of James.
Got it. Okay.
Because you remember I told you I was going to add in the siblings and the children, all of them, not the ones that just related to me. Kind of like how I have Annie's siblings down here.
So wait a minute. So so that's interesting.
Cause see, there's the James. This is the James Ellis that is in the photo.
Was the son?
This would have been one of James's children.
Right. Okay.
But he did. These are his siblings, the Kenneths, and that's Kenneth's wife, Sally. She
Whose
would
siblings? Whose siblings?
These right here
Uh-huh.
are James's siblings. So
James, this guy
James
here that was
Ellis.
born in 1800?
Right here.
Okay.
With Fanny. These are the Fanny and the James Ellis. These two right here. These are their children that drop down to their children. But these are James's siblings over here.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I went in and found some hints on James Robert. And according to a census, it listed all these children. And I didn't know this at first to add it to my tree until it was confirmed by you that it was a Mr. Toby and Kenneth, and that's how we relate. So I went ahead and added them to my tree.
So help me understand, how is it that this guy, James Ellis, could you have a picture of him? How does he look so different? And he almost looks like a Caucasian. Is he Caucasian?
This was a sketch from somebody. I haven't pulled up any hints on their race because I do know back in the day, if you were not white, they put you as colored or mulatto. Like on my grandma's side, we have a lot of people that was listed as mulattoes that I was able to pull up according to the census. But on this side, I wasn't able to get any information. But to me, he does look like, he could be a mixed,
mulatto.
Maybe not all black. But as far as census goes, I don't have anything to confirm it. Like I do on a few of my other branches. I couldn't get that information from him. I did see something that suggested that he was black. You did.
It's on the census.
But see, on my census, on my grandmother, I know for a fact that all of those were mulattoes. But some of them were listed as colored on their death certificates, even though we have two censuses that say that they were mulatto, listed as mulattoes or free slaves, and then we have those same people that were listed as colored too. So it's like the census maybe one year, maybe one person that came to collect the data maybe just looked at them and saw that they were not white and just listed them as colored or Negro. Because back in the day, it was either one or the other. If you were not white, they listed you as colored because of that one drop colored rule. So it kind of make it difficult unless it do have a different census. Like I said, with my family, as far as Bunk High's family, I can confirm that his mother was a mulatto, listed as a mulatto on one census, and then on another census she was listed as a colored woman. So I think back in the day it just depended on who came to do the census and what they thought was colored or mulatto or mixed, to be honest. So
to be honest, yes. Very interesting.
But yeah, this would have been my second great grandfather, and I do want to add that my tree is only at an 8, which is a good rating to say that my information is pretty accurate. And then I have other people too in my tree as well, and I don't know if we can talk about this another session, but I did find out that Pocahontas, the real Pocahontas, was my 7th, 8th, or 9th great aunt.
Oh,
so,
wow. Okay.
Like I said, I'm still doing a whole lot of different activities and stuff like that, but my tree is pretty good and accurate.
Sounds like it. It sounds like it is. You got an 8.1 rating on it, so that's good. That's pretty good.
And then I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to, and like I said, I wanted to show you that because I didn't touch base with you about that, but I did find Kenneth and Toby, those
Good.
main names that you were wanting to see in the tree. So I found them and I added them in here for you.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Now, these people down here, um, and here's my great grandparents right here, the Bunk High and the Annie Lee Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a few photographs that I could share. Um, and I'm still organizing my data. I'm a work in progress. And see how I was telling you about how they had the different names. So
Mm-hmm.
how I say Ellis, but it's supposed to be Ellis or
Right.
Bink High, but I know it's supposed to be Bunk High because I know
Mm-hmm.
these people. Um,
Mm.
so I had to be careful and watch that too. But this was a picture of Annie Lee Ellis's death certificate, and
Mm-hmm.
see how they have her listed as colored. But I know for a fact that
Yes.
she was a mulatto. Um,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
well, I don't know for a fact up here as far as proof go, but I do know that Bunk was a mulatto. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
confirmed Annie
Mm-hmm.
Lee's race, but the way my grandma looked and the way she was in the picture that we'll share later, it's kind of, you know, evident that she did have some kind of mixture going on.
That pulmonary tuberculosis keeps showing up as
She,
well.
yeah,
Have you seen that as a cause of death amongst us?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
that that was a very common death, and that's another
Mm.
reason why I was talking about how it's important to learn things like this about
Mm-hmm.
how your family died because we could be more at risk for lung
Mm-hmm.
infections and things like that. Even though we're not living at that time where it was
Mm.
common, it still could be very well that we have lung issues or inflammations, things that just we need to keep ourselves checked out or our lung
Mm.
area checked out. We might be more at risk of cancer. Not trying to wish that on nobody, but we do have
No.
to be realistic. That things like that happen.
Mm-hmm. As you smoke your cigarette.
Yes. While I'm sharing my screen,
Uh-huh.
but I was able to confirm that this document was for my great grandmother Annie Lee. She was born in
Mm.
Bladen County, White Creek, and her
Okay.
parents were listed as Fanny Allen and James Ellis, but they spelled it Ellas instead
Right.
of Is. But I know for
Mm-hmm.
a fact it was them.
That was them. That was
Yep.
them. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was them.
So,
Wow. Wow.
and even though we don't have pictures, sometimes little things like that are,
Mm-hmm.
nice to share.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Really nice to share.
and as far as the children, this is my grandmother right here, Lottie
Mm-hmm.
High. And I will click on that so you can see her beautiful face.
Now, okay, so this is the lady who raised you.
Correct. Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, can we see a picture of her? Let's see.
Sure.
Can you? Oh, look at her. Oh, wow.
She was about 80. She was about 81 right here. So she aged very well. She had
Mm-hmm.
Alzheimer's.
Oh, she
Um,
did.
she had dementia, and
Mm.
I was so against her going into a nursing home because used to work at nursing homes and caregiving and stuff like that, which I still
Mm.
do.
Mm-hmm.
She fell, and the nursing home didn't notify us that she fell. Which
Mm-hmm.
usually, whenever I go see her, I try to get her up, wheel her out. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
grandma, get up. But
Mm-hmm.
the last visit, I didn't. Um, and next thing I know, she was in the hospital with a hip infection, and
Ooh.
that's what took her out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, but that's
Mm.
my grandma. And like I said, dead for her mother. She was only 6 years old when her mama died. She was raised by her sister, Sarah Troublefield.
Mm-hmm.
After her mother died, she was the
Mm-hmm.
last child of Annie Lee Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
She was 13 when her father died.
Mm-hmm.
And strangely, whenever I look up her marriages, it shows that she was married to R.C. Barefoot, and I was
Mm-hmm.
never able to find any information stating that she was married to James Williams. But I know that they were married because I lived with them. I
Mm-hmm.
was there. They were married
Mm-hmm.
for like 30 years.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the house that they stayed in, they had it built in the 70s. Um, and I just don't understand why it was no record of their marriage.
Mm.
And that's something that's strange to me. I've been looking into, but
Mm-hmm.
it shows that she was married to R.C. Barefoot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she died in Dunn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Hmm. It seems like there's a lot of, it seems like, I won't say a lot, but I will say that we again, this is not across the board, but it sounds like there is quite a few ruptures
Mm-hmm.
in the family dynamic in relationship to that. I think we've talked about the kind of ruptures that occurred on this side of the tree. And you're sharing some that basically, not being raised by your natural parents, the separation, being raised by your grandparent, and then her getting the dementia, and you having to care for her, make the choice about her going into a nursing home. Talk about what that was like for you growing up as a child.
Um, well, I don't want to be too um inconsiderate of the fact. Um, my aunts and my other cousins and family members and stuff like
Sure.
that. But I do feel like she raised me. I feel like I owed her my life. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever I graduated from high school, I felt like I was kind of forced to stick around, small town,
Mm-hmm.
Benson, nothing going on really for
Mm-hmm.
her. So I didn't go to college.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up hanging with, people that really didn't mean me any good, but that's all that
Mm-hmm.
I had. And to me, that was enough at that time until I got older,
Mm-hmm.
to learn any better. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like I didn't really have much say in her going to the nursing home other than I didn't want that for her. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I do feel kind of, at fault of what happened to her because we know that going into the nursing homes, they don't always get the care that they need in there. Um, and I don't know, I just feel like it was my duty to do what she did for me in her old age.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think back of what I could have been if I would have went on, with my life, kind of like everybody else did. Um, but I can't help that it's a natural thought. But I think I would choose to stay and help her again if I had to. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it was a little
Mm-hmm.
tough growing up. They were already older. There were certain things that I felt like I couldn't go to them with. They didn't understand.
Who
Um,
was they again?
my grandparents.
Okay.
Um, and it made me resent my parents even more because why weren't y'all there? And it took me a long time to, process that and not feel like it was something wrong with me as to why, they didn't want me or why they didn't want to do what they had to do to, ensure my well-being like I do for my child. I do anything for them. Um, so I just always had this gnawing feeling like, maybe I wasn't good enough or, you know, but now I realize that I should have never had those thoughts. Um, everybody goes through stuff. Um, but it's kind of like how you react to it. So you can't really tell someone how to feel or how they should react. Um, it's
a
I don't know.
beautiful
It
thing.
just caused a little
It's
rift too because
yeah.
it made me resent to my cousins and stuff like that. Like, why couldn't y'all step in a little more?
Mm,
Once y'all seen that it was becoming a little stress and strain on me, on top of
mm-hmm,
all the other things that I had going on.
mm-hmm.
Um, so it affected a lot. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
I just keep it, at a light and respectable um feeling that I'm having versus saying it how it really is.
Yeah,
Just gonna keep it
yeah,
respectful.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
it
and
was
that's
hard.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was
That's
hard.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
So
And I like the fact that you said you want to be completely respectful of everything. And it sounds like you have gone through your own journey of healing,
hmm
and you've come full circle to a place where you emotionally have found some balance,
hmm
and not a lot of resentment and grievance, and you're ready to move on. But what is it like now? Because we're kind of running out of time. What's it like now to be reconnecting with your roots? And you mentioned connecting with Larry and then connecting with me. There are so many people, Alyssa, out there. There are so many people out there that are just waiting to talk to you, waiting to embrace you. And I can't wait to make sure that we make sure that you make that connection. You know, you have so many family members, and I'm excited for you. I'm excited for me. I'm excited for the family to embrace you and to welcome you into this family, and and to say, and some, when you talk about your story, it's, it just takes you by the heart.
hmm
It just takes you by the heart, and somebody just want to swoop you up and hug you and say, you're good enough, and you deserve to be here, and you're perfect in every way.
I appreciate that.
And we love you. So, is there anything you want to share before we end, and before I provide some closing comments?
I would just like to say thank you so much for having me. And this
Mm-hmm.
journey has been awesome. Like I said, I've been doing ancestry for about 5 years now without making any actual connections. I was a little hesitant on doing the DNA testing, but I'm so
Mm-hmm.
glad I did.
I'm
You
glad
and
you did
Mr.
too.
Larry have welcomed me with open arms as if we've known each other our whole lives, and I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that. It means a lot to me.
Yeah,
To
it's beautiful.
reconnect and just find out our similarities. How we differ, or
Mm-hmm.
things we have in common, and little family quirks like we might cough the same or sneeze the same, or any
Right.
little things would help me feel more like I belong
Comfortable.
somewhere.
Well, you do. You do. You belong. You have every right to be here, and we have every right to embrace you with love and respect, dignity, and hope and courage. Listen, I also understand that you are agreeable to um, co-chairing our family reunion for 2026. Is that what? What are your thoughts about that?
I think that would be an awesome journey.
Yeah,
Something to
yeah,
fill my time with, where because I do have a slight busy schedule, but I'm willing to make time for something good and
something good
productive. That
and
can
something
I
productive.
could obviously replace it with something else that
Yes,
you know.
yes, right.
So I'm all for it.
I'm excited about that. And so that meeting is, I think, next Sunday.
Okay.
And so you'll get a opportunity, and I will certainly let everybody know by this podcast
Okay.
that you will be joining us, and I'm sure they will welcome you with open arms and open hearts, and I actually can't wait. So, is there
And,
anything you want to share before I offer up some closing remarks?
I do, cause I think this was our intended picture that I was supposed to share, but I went to share
Oh,
everything. But um,
okay. You want to share it?
hold on. Okay.
Something's going on there.
Uh-oh.
Oops, there's
Hold
that.
on.
Take your
Sorry.
time.
I'm not going to take up too much of our time, but I
No,
would
that's
like to
okay.
share this group picture
Yeah,
that I
yeah. You
shared
mean
with.
that family picture?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have the original?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Hold on. And if I can get past this, okay. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
Sharing. Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to it. And I have a whole lot of unorganized photos and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to share this. It's a copy of the original.
Oh.
My grandmother's niece, her name was Elsie Eason, or is Elsie Eason. She's still
Mm-hmm.
alive. She shared a group picture, and I believe that this picture is James Ellis and Fanny Ellis and their children, a group picture.
Okay.
And my computer has a mind of its own, so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There go James Matthew Ellis.
And this is Leslie Ellis, and we can talk
Leslie
about how
Ellis.
she
Mm-hmm.
ties into the tree later. Okay,
Oh,
so
there you
this is the
go.
original photo right here,
Yeah. Let's see that.
and I did colorize it on Ancestry. It has a nice little tool where you can sharpen
Mm-hmm.
and add color to photos.
Oh,
But this
look at
is the
this.
original photo,
Okay.
and I know
Wow.
for a fact that this lady right here is my great grandmother Annie Ellis.
Annie Ellis. Okay.
So that's what lead me to believe that this has to be a group photo of the family if she's in here.
Annie Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
Right here.
Wow. And they all look so very different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some color in there, then there's some white, there's mulatto color, then there's maybe a little darker color, but the young man the two men, young men standing behind. Looks like maybe, is that James?
I believe so. These
That's
two will
James.
be the
Yeah.
parents.
James and
I'm
Fanny.
sorry.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm. And according
That'd
to
be
the other
James and
photos
Fanny.
that we saw, that's what
Mm-hmm.
led me to believe that was him.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the resemblance. Like this Fanny, she looks like my Aunt Darlene.
Mm-hmm.
This lady right here, my great grandmother Annie, she favors strongly my Aunt Michelle and my Aunt Darlene, which is my grandmother's girls. And we just have some strong resemblances. Larry favors my Uncle Patrick. You favor my cousin Tracy. We just it's a lot of resemblances that I see in the family.
Yes,
But I did
a
want to
lot
share
of
this. Yes.
yes, definitely needed to see that. Definitely needed
I
to see.
did want
Thank
to
you.
share this one. You're welcome.
Did you want to offer anything you want to say before we offer up some closing remarks?
No. That's it. This was
That's it?
perfect for a beginning intro.
Okay. So thank you so very, very much. And again, and thank you so much for agreeing to be the co-chair for our family reunion committee that's coming up in July of 2026. So I just want to say that what began as a name on a DNA match has now became a voice and a face and a story. And I want to thank you, Melissa, for telling that story.
No problem.
And in that story, though, what we found are pieces of ourself, themes, patterns, pieces that we didn't even know were missing. James and Toby, brothers in life, now remembered together in spirit. Their children, their grandchildren, and great-grandchildren standing in the same light, connected by the same roots. But listen, this is how legacy lives. Not in dusty records alone, but in these moments, in the cousin's laughter, that feeling of being at home, and a photograph that becomes a bridge across generations. So we leave this conversation today, not as strangers, but as family, with open hearts and open arms, with love and appreciation, bound by the roots planted long before we were ever born or thought about, and by the hope that we will keep finding one another again and again and again. And so as we close, remember this: let your legacy always be love and your voice always be heard. Until we have the next episode, thank you so very much. We love you, and peace. After we ended our conversation, I kept thinking about how much history was in those photos and how much love it takes to keep a family connected. If you're listening today and you've been thinking about reaching out to a relative, do it. And do it now. Our stories matter, and they're waiting to be told.